So I'm lazy, right? I get distracted very easily. I mean, all you have to do is look at my channel that I started 4 years ago to see that I can get lazy. There are periods of heaps of videos and then just massive gaps of absolute nothingness. I mean, I'm a busy person. I run a production company, 16K Productions, go follow us on everything. And I have like a normal everyday person job because that doesn't make that much money right now. So I'm busy, but when it comes to YouTube and just like my everyday creative stuff, I get distracted. So I'm always looking to streamline my process. Making YouTube videos much simpler and far quicker. And when I tell you, I have found the greatest piece of software to help with that and to make my entire setup streamlined so that I can have an idea and sit down in my chair, bada bing, bada boom, recording. I actually got distracted from where I started the sentence, so I'm not really sure where I was going with it. But basically, this is me telling you what I do to make this a reality.
What is that piece of software, you ask?
Well, it's actually a Stream Deck. But not one of these Stream Decks. Insert graphic of Stream Deck here. One of these Stream Decks, as in on the iPad Stream Deck. See? I control everything from here. So what is different to the piece of software here and one of the standard Stream Decks? Absolutely nothing. I mean, it's bigger, but fundamentally the software is the exact same and you use it the exact same. What is different is how I've just integrated it into making these. And to show you how I did that, I'm going to turn you around and show you what I'm looking at. Hi. Yes, I know I'm out of focus in this shot. Shit. So, this is the setup. So we'll go top down, tell you what I use, tell you how it connects to the Steam Deck, and how I use it to create the most efficient YouTube setup I can. So first up, we got the SmallRig 120 light as, you guessed it, my light source. So this baby, we just whack this guy up on 33% onto the white wall, bounce it right back to me, perfectly like me, for my camera. The camera itself is my Blackmagic cinema camera, which I do use very often for all of my client work, but for right now, it's basically a very expensive webcam. Now the camera's HDMI output is fed right into the computer through an Elgato Cam Link, such a classic, I know, that is then fed into OBS, which again, we will go through in just a second. Both the light and the camera are mounted onto an Elgato light arm, which you can get from Amazon for super cheap, honestly. One of the best purchases you could do, and it keeps it really stable. And the reason they are on the exact spot on the desk they are is because I need to be able to take both of them off really quick, so I use them both pretty regularly for my work with 16K. Now, I know what you're saying. That's just like a light setup. You still have to mess around with batteries and blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. Yeah, I've got no idea what I was saying there. What I meant to say was, that looks like a normal camera light setup. You still have to put batteries and everything in there. No, you don't. That's what I meant to say. I don't know what the hell that mumbling arsehole was on about. What I did is both the light and the camera are plugged in to a Philips Hue smart plug, which means with the Elgato Stream Deck, all I have to do is click this button and my light and camera are off. As you can see in the OBS software, nothing's coming through. And then click it one more time and bada bing, bada boom, everything's on. Hopefully. Yes, we're back. Perfect. Now, the only problem with the Philips Hue smart plug is it's happened to me twice where for some reason it's just always in an off state or always in an on state. You just have to pull it out and plug it back in and figure it out, really. Now, once the camera's actually been fed into the computer, we go back to OBS. Hi. Oh, yeah. And the lens that I normally use on the Blackmagic camera, I don't know why I'm whispering so quiet. The lens I normally use on the Blackmagic camera is this lens, which is a 35mm prime lens. Yeah, that's not going to work on this setup because it needs to be so close to me. So, yeah, I just thought I'd show you what it looks like with that lens on. Don't use it with that, just use some random shitty zoom lens, honestly. It'll be fine. Having to use prime lenses and cinematic lenses and all that kind of crap kind of defeats the purpose of this like super quick sort of setup. Definitely use those lenses if you have them for like more cinematic projects, but if you're literally just sitting down talking to a camera on your computer for some tutorial, blah, blah, whatever, just use whatever lens. It really doesn't matter. I know I say this as I use the bloody Blackmagic camera as basically a webcam, but don't listen to me. Do what I say, not what I do. And this reminds me of very handy software that I have on my phone. So the Blackmagic camera itself does not autofocus, so you have to focus it every time you use it. There's a software called Blackmagic, what is it? It's the Blackmagic camera app. I can just hit the autofocus button on here, and as long as the lens itself has autofocus, the Blackmagic camera will just sort of focus it for you. But you have to hit that every time you focus it, so it's kind of a pain in the ass if you want to move around a lot, but you know, whatever. So I record through all of that into OBS. This is going to get trippy. Now, if you want more of a tutorial on how I set up the camera and the mic in OBS, I've actually got a video on that. It's my most popular video, just humble brag. It basically talks about how when you do this sort of setup, you're going to get some lag between the camera and the mic. Tells you how to fix that, fun stuff. So within the streamdeck software on my iPad, I've also put in shortcuts to be able to switch from the general FaceTime talking to, if you're doing a tutorial, to the little sort of screen recording. So that's all on the iPad as well. The start-stop recording button is also here. I'm not actually going to hit it because, that'll ruin what we're recording right now. But I've got buttons to stream and everything, but, I don't really stream, whatever. I've also got stuff for all my lights. So the light in the background, turn that on, off. I can turn it sort of blue, green. I can do the same with the top light. You can't really see it. I guess it's a little bit bluer. And that's a little bit greener. That's just the light on top of my roof. Obviously, I can't change this light via the iPad. I can only turn it on and off. It is what it is. I've got little profiles in here. So I've got my recording profile, my Discord profile. I've got a profile for Helldivers. I don't actually play Helldivers anymore, so probably delete that. And I got a profile for all of my programs. So I can hit any of these, open up, Premiere Pro, After Effects, blah, 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 blah. And then just bring me right back home to all of my stuff. So the Stream Deck software you'd use for the iPad is the exact same one as the computer. You start up buttons here, all your button stuff's there. You stick all your shortcuts, everything in there, all your navigation stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's all the exact same. It's just bigger. Now, it is actually a paid software, so it's either $33-ish a year, or you can buy it as like a one-time payment for about $80. I can't remember the exact. But it's much cheaper than buying a Stream Deck. To get this many buttons, you'd be buying 2 or 3 Stream Decks easily. Yes, it doesn't have the knobs that like the some of the more expensive Stream Decks have, but honestly, you don't really need them. It has improved the speed that I can make YouTube videos. When I've got an idea, I can literally just, sit down at my desk, bang, 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 everything's on, we're good to go. I don't. I still don't, because I still don't have much time, but the actual idea of making a video, from idea to recording it to making it, yes, there's procrastination in there. I'll end up playing games or whatever. But the actual execution of it is so much faster. If you are a YouTuber and you have the means, like, obviously my version of the setup isn't cheap. The camera's a couple grand, the lights are a couple hundred, you've got the iPad itself, which is not cheap, and you've got the software. But the idea behind it is cheap. Get a shitty webcam. Get a shitty secondhand Stream Deck. Get a shitty light. You can do this for a relatively cheap price. So don't let time hold you back. Why do that when you can have it all set up and you can press literally 3 buttons and you're recording a video? It's fantastic. Like, a super quick example of me actually using this setup for just like a super quick video was literally my last video when I had problems with my Focusrite and I couldn't figure it out. When I figured it out, I was like, shit, people should probably know this. So, hit the button to start my camera, start my lights, hit the button to start record, talked about the problem, hit the button to stop record, threw into Premiere Pro, edited it in like half an hour, and put it straight up. Literally, the idea to video being uploaded was within like 2 hours. It's a fantastic setup. If you can, cobble together something like this, do it. Why not? Well, thank you for the video, guys. I actually was going to record this, speaking of procrastination, I was going to record this early this week, but I got COVID and felt like death. I'm still recovering from it. It's whatever, so if I look a bit, lethargic or kind of weird, it's because I got the plague. But if you guys want to know anything more about my setup, how I set everything up, a more in-depth look at the Stream Deck software, because I can sort of teach you how to, put together lights and everything, because the Philips Hue plug is a little bit tricky to, like, sort out, but it's not too bad. Hit me up. I can do that. But for now, thank you for hanging out. Actually, that reminds me, the only problem with this setup is that instead of looking at your lens like you should, I end up looking at the screen that has my, OBS on. I don't know why I look at myself. I'm not that obsessive, but whatever. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. All of that fun stuff. And I'll see you in whatever video I do next. I know at the beginning of the year I said I was going to do 15 videos in this year. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Bye. This is where I'm going to have to like add in the second camera, isn't it? Wait, can you see my bald spot? Am I balding? You can probably see my bald spot, can't you? Please subscribe. I want a hair transplant, so subscribe.